Social media has made me a better person, and I know this sounds insane. And I've been doing social media for years now. I've grown a TikTok account to 50,000 followers, and I've monetized 2 YouTube channels. And the wild thing is that the success is not what really changed me so much. This is not what made me a better person. And if you have been thinking about posting on social media, but you're scared that you don't have anything worth saying, then this video is for you. Because I want to share 5 lessons that posting on social media has taught me, and it has nothing to do with followers or views. Alright, let's start with lesson number 1. Okay, let's first talk about consistency, but not in the way you think, because consistency was something I was always terrified of, and it's still very hard to be consistent, okay? When I started out with social media, I was dreading posting every day and having to be consistent. Somehow I forced myself to post every day on TikTok, even several times a day, and it was really hard, and I didn't always succeed, to be honest with you. But having to post regularly helped me so much in overcoming my overthinking, you know, because I had to post, right? I was committed to posting, so I needed to record something, and even if I wasn't 100% happy with what I'm creating, I press upload, you know, and that really helped me to overcome my real enemy, which was overthinking, you know, overcoming my self-doubt. So as long as you're committed in uploading that next piece of content, you will move forward. Right? It's not about the algorithm, it's not about the audience. First and foremost, it's about you. What does it do for you, for your personal development when you start uploading every day and you see progress? Because you know what happens when you see progress every day? You will release dopamine, so you will want to create more. You get rewarded for being consistent. So that's something many people don't talk about when we talk about consistency. So the lesson is, posting consistently cures your perfectionism. But if you try to stay consistent, you will face some difficulties like I did. And it's not even that long ago. I faced the most creative block I've ever had in a long, long time, you know. And I was devastated, I was frustrated, I had to lay down, and I was so angry with myself that I couldn't create on that day. But what did I do? I had to upload, right? This is a sticky situation, no? I had to create. So what did I actually do? I wrote everything down, my whole frustration, and I made a script about the creative block and how I felt and what do I learn during that time. So I actually made a video about the creative block, you know, how I was feeling. As I tried to make sense about the situation I'm in, I actually understood something about myself, and I was able to put it into words to share it with you so you can learn from my experience, right? So this is what posting does. It forces you to turn vague feelings into clear thoughts, because you cannot explain anything to someone else until you actually understand it yourself. So that is the beautiful thing about posting online. You are sharing your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, and you have to put them into words. So these thoughts, beliefs, ideas will change, they will get more refined. And sometimes you have to throw them out of the window because you understand what you're thinking doesn't make any sense. You know, it's like you're examining your thoughts, feelings, and you examine your experiences, right? So your thinking gets better, and your experiences become more valuable, more clear to you, right? It's a bit like journaling, but a little bit more vivid, because you have to constantly think about, how can I explain this to somebody else except for me, right? How can I make other people understand? And that is the real value. You become a better communicator and a better thinker. So that is the lesson. Social media can help you to process your thoughts and clarify your thinking. And once you start posting consistently, something else will happen that nobody warns you about. Because there will be moments where you just can't seem to push through your blockage, where you just have to lie down thinking, hey, why am I so bad at this? Why do I suck so much? Why can I not be as great as the other people out there, right? Because you will spend time comparing yourself to other creators. You spend your time comparing yourself with other talented people, right? And you know how I feel when I don't get to create as much as I want to? I feel like a loser. And you know what happens when I actually do create something and I see it doesn't get the likes, follows, comments, whatever that I want? I feel like a loser, of course, like that's part of the game. Something we have to, you know, get used to. And this is something people who don't create will never face. That is the gold nugget here, my friend. because you will have to face your doubts, your inner demons, your self-loathing, right? You are looking it in the eye, because you need to push through that. You need to face it when you are creating stuff online. You are doing something other people don't. You put yourself out there. You are making it a habit to create something, which cannot always work, which will create a sense of doubt. And this is something you will have to get used to, right? These feelings don't always go away. You know, they don't just disappear. You know, me, after years of making content, I still feel self-defeated sometimes, and I have to acknowledge that feeling as an old friend. You know, here it is again. I'm feeling defeated again. And what do I do with this? Do I lay down, close my eyes, let it flush over me, accept it for today, or do I sit down and try to write anyway? This is something I have to decide for myself, because I have to know myself so well to know how do I act in these moments of doubt, you know. So lesson number 3 is you learn to create despite the doubts. And it doesn't stop right there with just the emotions that you're facing. There's another layer of discomfort just waiting for you when you do social media. When I was a travel vlogger, I cringed so much when I had to film myself, and that is part of the deal, right? You walk around filming your face, talk while you walk through the public. And here in Indonesia, that is not actually a problem. So I did it, but I still felt cringe. I could never do this at home in Germany because people would lynch me, you know? That's probably why I feel very self-conscious when it's about filming myself. So that has always been something I feel very uncomfortable about. But I knew I had to do it in order to make good videos. I had to go through the markets and go through different events and film myself and interact with other people while I'm doing it. And even today, you see it in my footage here that I film myself during different moments when I'm working, when I'm eating, and when I'm with friends. And that's something I have recently started doing because I wanted to overcome this awkwardness, feeling so cringe. I wanted to overcome the resistance to film myself. So I started a challenge. I told myself I'm going to film myself in public every day for 30 days. It's extremely uncomfortable, but it gave me so much beautiful material that you can see here, and it helps me to build more connections with you as a viewer, because you can see me in different situations and not just like standing here in front of the camera. So here's the thing, as a creator you will have to do things that are uncomfortable. You know, you will have to listen to your own voice, you will have to look at your own face on camera, you will have to film yourself in public, or you simply have to be vulnerable in front of the camera to come across as a human being, you know, share your failures, share your emotions, and you know, the stuff that I try to do when I talk to you. So lesson number 4 is making good videos pushes you outside your comfort zone. And you know what else feels uncomfortable? When you don't have any original thoughts that you can share online, but you still want to do it, right? So I felt that way. And I copied so many creators out there. I copied their style, how they behave in front of the camera. I copied their tips and tricks, their video ideas. And there's nothing wrong with copying. I know this is part of the creative process, okay? So I still have to copy ideas here and there. There's nothing bad about that. But you will have to sprinkle in a little bit of your own perspective, of your own experience, you know? And over time, this became easier for me because I had created many more videos. I've put my thoughts into scripts and processed my thoughts, right? As I mentioned earlier, writing and creating helps to process your thinking, so it gets more refined. So I actually got more ideas about all kinds of topics in life that I want to talk about. I didn't have to steal so many tips and tricks anymore because I had developed my own tips and tricks, you know. I had my own workflow as a creator, my own workflow when it comes to productivity. And I did more experiments with my own life as well, you know, trying different habits and then talking about them. This is something that gets incentivized when you make videos about your life, you know. So that's the lesson. You develop a point of view. And of course, we all have a point of view. As human beings, that's just natural. We have different opinions and views on the world. But here's why it is so powerful when you share your thoughts online and develop a point of view that way. It's because you have to package your thoughts and share them with other people. It just, again, it refines your thinking. You always think about how do I make other people understand what I'm going through, what or what I'm talking about, right? How can I really make them understand and help them through my experience, through my knowledge, you know? Because only if you can explain things in an easy way, you actually understand them, you know? So my friend, what matters is that you become someone who is creating instead of consuming. And I know, the hardest thing is not to know all of this. It's to actually get out there and to expose yourself and to feel awkward, you know? So if you actually want to see how it looks like when somebody pushes through that discomfort, there's this video of my first 7 days on my 30-day challenge of filming myself in public. It's a super fun video, and if you like that video, leave a like, share it with friends, and much love and stay funky. Bye bye.